Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about some of the worst makeup packaging. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. So most of these items I don't hate at all. I actually love them, but their packaging just needs a revamp, in my opinion. So let's hop right into it. The first one I'm sure most people can agree with. It is the Benefit box packaging. They have their blushes, their bronzers, their highlighters all in this square box packaging. To be fair, this is a mini, so it is just really hard to work with. For me to actually reach for this more, I would really just need to pop this out and put it in a magnetic palette. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those, or I would just do that. But this box packaging is so hard to work with. Most of us, when we go in with a bronzer, for the most part, most of us are just going in with a larger brush. And this really doesn't allow you to do that. This is a mini, but the regular size box packaging is also kind of hard to deal with. However, I did see that Benefit just released some new shades of their blushes, but they're also shorter, so it's actually possible to get a blush in there and not have to worry about that, not have to deal with that. So I think they are kind of addressing this issue. This is one that I either need to pop out and put in a magnetic palette, should I get one of those, or just use it for my eyes, because otherwise I'm not going to use this up as a bronzer because the packaging is too frustrating. Next, I wanted to mention Physicians Formula. So this is another one that people gripe about a lot. Their butter bronzer packaging is just so bulky. It has these rounded edges, so it's not even flat on the top or bottom, so it doesn't stack very well. It doesn't slide in behind anything else very well. It just doesn't store very well with other makeup items. I mean, obviously this product is a favorite of mine, but another thing I'll say is the clasp isn't well made at all. My clasp has completely broken off. And then on top of that, you open this up, this part comes out, and they've always got like a little applicator in the bottom. Obviously I've never used this one because this is just some weird, strange kind of foamy type applicator that just doesn't make any sense, but it's just bulky for no reason. They could easily just take this bottom part completely out and have the packaging be like much thinner and square it off a little better, much like their new Butter Buddies collection that they've come out with. That packaging I can work with. So I just don't understand why this is so bulky. And then they do the same thing with their butter blushes. So their blushes are obviously a little bit smaller, but they follow in line with that same bulky packaging. My clasps on this one actually still work, but it's got the same sort of flippy pan with a strange applicator. And then even their newer Matte Minoy butter blushes, it's the same thing. These are really new, so same packaging. They're actually putting a better brush in there now, but at the same time, this is just so unnecessary. Just make it little, make it like the Butter Buddies packaging. That works very well. I understand that they're very well established on this kind of packaging, so when you see this packaging, you know it's Physicians Formula. Just like when you see the box packaging, you know that it's Benefit. So I can kind of understand why they want to stay with that, but at the same time, the products are so good, I feel like they've already made a name for themselves without having to retain this bulky packaging. That's it. But in the same vein with bulky packaging, I have to mention Milani, their baked blushes. Same kind of bulky packaging, not quite as bad. The bottom does sit a little bit more flat. The top is raised, but it is flat. And it's also got that same type of flip up with an applicator underneath. It's the same type of packaging. So I would like to see Milani change their baked blushes as well. We just don't need this super bulky packaging. I just don't like bulky packaging, apparently. Okay, next let's talk about a setting spray. So this is the Maybelline Glass Spray. The bottle on this is not my problem. I actually really like the package. I think it's really cute. I think it's pretty. It's nice to look at. The problem is the mister. It is such a punchy mister. I'll try to show you. It just comes out so quick and so fast, and it's not a fine mist. It kind of ends up being like a water gun to the face when you do spritz it on, and it can wreck your makeup. And especially because this product is designed to give you that glass spray, that glass skin effect, it can wreck your makeup really quickly. So this one, in order to use this one, I tend to actually just spray this onto a brush and then just kind of dab it on from there, and that way I still kind of get that effect. But this isn't one that I want to spray directly on my face because it's too harsh. I want it to be more like, say, the Lawless Glam Guard, where if you compare the mister, this one, it's just so gentle and soft, and this one is such a fine, soft mist that I'm not even sure I got it on my face. Like, it's just so soft. It never leaves water droplets behind, anything like that. I never have to go back in and just kind of pat out the droplets. This is just such a gentle mist. I love this one. And the Benefit Professional Setting Spray has a very similar fine mist that's phenomenal. I think the thing is that I just don't understand why at this point in time brands can't just come out with that really great mister. I don't understand why we still have those aggressive misters. That's all. Okay, next let's talk about Persona. So I recently tried their Swipe Up Brow Gel, which I think is a great product. So this is a tinted brow gel, but the problem with this one is the size of the applicator. Like, this is really big for someone's brows. Like, if you look at this, that's just really aggressive compared to my eyebrows. Now let's compare next to the Benefit Gimme Brow, which is also a tinted brow gel. And so the Benefit is really, really fine. It allows you to get those really precise strokes. It accounts for the fact that your brows are kind of small and you're going to want a smaller brush to go through them. While I do think that this does do a great job of really volumizing the brows and adding a lot of color at once, and it makes really quick work of the brows, it also gets them messy really, really quickly. So if you're somebody who naturally has larger brows, you might like this. But for me, this is a pass just because it's just too big. Next up is a foundation, and this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. So this is one that has been really well loved over the years. It's not a favorite of mine, but I do think it's a good enough foundation. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. What I hate is the applicator. I mean, the smell of the product is awful, as we all know, but the applicator is this hard plastic cheap paddle. It's kind of sharp around the edges too. Honestly, this is just a weird applicator. I mean, it could have been a pump, it could have been a doe foot, it could have been a squeeze tube, and it all would have been better than this weird thing. Like, I just take this and I rub it on my palette, and then I just take it from there onto a sponge. But I just think this is a really, really strange applicator. Like, what if you didn't have a palette and you just needed to apply it to the face? I don't want to rub this hard, kind of sharp-edged paddle on my face. That's just me. I just don't like that. Some concealer packaging that drives me crazy is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. So this one, we all know, has that type of floofball applicator. This is a really, really great concealer. The problem is that because this is just the way that it is, the cap gets so messy. I do not think this is the most sanitary packaging out there, and I understand that you can kind of take this little applicator off, but I shouldn't have to. I don't know. Just put it in a doe foot. Just put it in a doe foot. Yeah, so that kind of drives me crazy, and it just looks so messy. And then Revlon also released their new Colorstay Skin Awaken concealer this year as well. And this is a nice concealer. This is a super light coverage concealer. But similar packaging. This one, the lid just twists off. You have this and you just squeeze up the product rather than twisting like you would the Maybelline. So while I agree the little floof ball, it does kind of feel nice on the under eyes, my lid's a mess and it just doesn't make the most sense to me. I just not loving those things. Okay, we have 2 more products to talk about. The second to last is from LYS. This is their Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. So the packaging on the LYS products is really pretty. The triangles do make it kind of hard to store, but I'm not that picky. My problem is how difficult this can be to get in and out of the tube. So coming out, it struggles a little bit, but the main issue is trying to put it back in. It just doesn't want to go, and then I feel like I'm gonna break the wand. I kind of wish the stopper was just a tiny bit wider so that it didn't do that, but then also that I understand why this is on a slant. I really do. But maybe that wasn't the best design. I don't know. I just think that perhaps the wand could be a little thicker and the stopper could be a little wider as well, just so I don't feel like I'm constantly going to break the product. And in that same sort of complaint is the Charlotte Tilbury Collagen Lip Bath Lip Glosses. This is the shade Peachy Plump. This is a pretty gloss, but again, applicator is really hard to get out, and then you usually drop some of it somewhere. And it's got this cute little heart-shaped applicator. I think it's a very cute applicator. I don't think it's the most friendly to use, but it's cute. But then coming in and out of the tube, it just, going in's not so bad. It's coming out that this one kind of struggles, and it just, I don't love it. But that is it. Those are my complaints about makeup packaging. So basically, I don't like aggressive misters. I don't like bulky packaging, and I don't like packaging that I feel like I'm going to break, or things that are messy. Let me know down below what kind of makeup packaging really just kind of drives you crazy, but let me know down below. I am so interested to hear. I hope I'm not alone in my makeup packaging complaints. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. And again, that's it for me today. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!